Let's start with the minutes of the meeting of the Washington Special Actions Group. So Washington, July 17. We have many persons of state, defense, CIA, etc. So the first point is, what do you think they want to achieve by doing that? Of course, Kissinger refers to Turkey and the position of the troops in southern Turkey. So you see, we have some information. We can see that they are moving troops into position in southern Turkey, so very close, of course, to Cyprus. So Colby, they probably want to move into this area. He's pointing the north central Cyprus on the map. So you can imagine Messaurea. So after Pedadactylos, it's interesting because he's pointing the north central Cyprus. You see, it's not only the North Cyprus. So you got it. So they probably want to establish an enclave in that area. So you remember that we have already an enclave very close to Nicosia, another one in this area, but not exactly in that. So the question to Stavro from Kissinger is, have we told the Turks that we know of their concern? And the answer is surprising, not yet. But the telegram is being prepared. So the remark of Kissinger is that it takes too long. Call the ambassador, of course, from Turkey. They should know right away what our position is. So you see that at that time, it's not very clear what is the position of US for the Turks. So they used that. Kissinger, informing the Turks that the Greeks are not increasing the number of their forces in the island. So it's an important point, a remark, which explains what? That Americans know exactly what are the troops of Greeks there, and also if they are moving from Athens something or not. So the idea, you remember, the big picture is we want something which is local, not international. So to inform the Turks that the Greeks are not increasing the number of their forces, it's important to signify what? You know, it's a local problem. So don't be upset. Don't imagine many things. Clements, I don't think the Turks will move in. It means, of course, Cyprus. They may make some noise, but I don't think they'll move. Totally wrong. But you know, this is a position in Washington at that time. And you remember, we are July 17, okay? So in 3 days, we have another problem, a bigger. The remark of Colby, I think they'll try the diplomatic route first, but may feel in the end that they have to move in. More efficient as a remark. One very important remark from Kissinger. I still do not understand why Turkey wants Makarios back. So you see, it's not clear, even that. The answer of Colby is it's either Macarius or Samson at this point. Macarius is certainly better than Samson from a Turkish point of view. So they are, in fact, quite neutral with a preference, okay? But they are not anti-Macarius, they are not anti-Samson. They don't want something special. They don't know what is the point. They try to understand the Turkish point of view, at least to have a model of that. So Kissinger, if the Turks intervene, if they take that quadrant southwest, what is the proportion of Turks to Greeks in that area? For Colby is clear, you remember CIA, it is largely Turkish. But for me, it's important to see that Kissinger is asking all that because for him, it's unknown. If they take that quadrant pointing to the northeast section of the island, what is the population there? It's about 50% Greek and 50% Turkish. You understand the position? Where is the position? In fact, is Rizocárpaso in that area. So Ayatriada, Yalusa, the main purpose would be to establish themselves in some portion of the island just to gain a foothold. So you see, it's not only a bridge, it's not only an enclave, it's something which is a little bit more important. Foothold with the ultimate objective of permanent occupation. So imagine we are using the word occupation before the invasion. That's one proposition. So you see, they already understood what? That the point of view of the Turks is not only to solve the coup. So we have already the problem of the excuse, okay, which is implemented. So even with the question of Clemens, but what would they want? Colby doesn't know, in fact, because he said to partition or divide the island. For me, it's important the word divide because it's not only areas, it's not only contents. You see, you remember with October. So Kissinger, I am going to talk to the president about sending someone to London to see Macarius and Echevit, maybe Bob Ingersoll, Bill, to Mr. Clemens, maybe we'll send someone from defense too. Excellent, the answer of Clemens. Let's go deeper. Again with Kissinger. The Samson regime, it seems to me, constitutes de facto enosis in the Turk view. De facto enosis. He means Samson, is the most unattractive guy. It's not in our interest to have him. It's clear. It's my feeling that if Macarius is brought back, it can be done only by the removal of Samson and the Greek officers, and Macarius would then have to lean more to the east. You see the problem? East. So remember, in this point of view, is, of course, Soviet Union. So the remark of Colby, Greece continues to pretend that this is strictly an internal Cypriot affair. The answer is yes, but once they, the Greek officers, are removed, the balance of power changes. If a Greek engineered coup fails, it will be a disaster from the Greek standpoint. It will be more than a slap in the face. It will be disastrous. Prediction, no? Prophecy. So it's a problem. You see that even the CIA says what? Not necessarily. They are very inefficient at this point. So again, a remark, if a coup fails from Kissinger, it will be weaken the influence of Athens in the entire area, not only Cyprus, of course. So from Clements, it's one thing for the Turks to invade and another thing to take over only part of the island. That would downgrade Greek influence throughout the entire area. Very delicate as a case. In fact, Kissinger, we can't let Lygeros become a stooge of the Turks. You see it. Boyat, this is not a Greek-Turkish ethnic fight. It's basically a political scramble. Because remember, we are between the coup and the invasion. So for the moment, it's not really an ethnic fight. It's true, okay? But after that, we have this problem. So again, Kissinger, that means we can pick and choose whoever we want. That makes us king makers. McCloskey, whether we pick Lygeros or Lygeros, it will be stick because we could back them. In my opinion, Lygeros would be the best for stability, but Lygeros would be better for the Turkish standpoint. So you see again, the Turkish standpoint, the Turkish point of view, all the time, they want to see what is the best equilibrium to have a solution, at least in the negotiation. So, well, the first problem is that the National Guard is in control. It means, of course, also from the Greek officers. How will you bring Lygeros back? That will be tougher than hell. You see the comparison, especially for this person of interest. Kissinger. It would take a massive US-Soviet effort, and that would be probably bring down the Greek government. How do we bring Lygeros back? So this is the first time we have a small solution, at least for the issue, and of course, for the first reference for Lygeros, I think we should work with Lygeros. So you remember that it will be, in fact, the president. Boyat. We could try a diplomatic ploy. We could go to Ioannidis, tell him to withdraw the Greek officers and insist on the constitutional change. Ides, Clarides, Samson certainly is not acceptable. So you see, the position is we can contact Ioannidis, withdraw Greek officers. We want not constitutional change. And we have in fact, the replacement of Samson by Lygeros. Okay. And you see again from Kissinger, yes, but what if Greece doesn't agree? So you see that it's not the position of American alone. They're trying to find a solution, an equilibrium, as I said, with all the parts. You remember that for the moment, we have no missing persons, no refugees, you see, all that problem. But already they want to be something, they want to fight for something which is rather natural, at least equilibrate something. We have stability because Lygeros has been neutralized. You see? Kissinger, I'm not so sure that serves our long-term interests. The trick is to diffuse the situation without tilting the present structure. A remark from Colby, CIA, I'm not sure that Ioannidis has all that long a future. So, in fact, he's already imagined something new with that. But never mind, Kissinger, you see, he's asking Joe Cisco, what do you think? So no political compromise. Okay, the hopes, restoration of the constitutional arrangement under Lygeros, okay. And one point, I don't see a Samson-Ioannidis axis as making for a long-range stability. So again, it's a proof, a direct proof that there is no relation between the two persons. And of course, they are not just pounds from USA. You see the remark, Kissinger? I think both are primitives. It's about Lygeros and Ioannidis. So it's impossible to find a solution which can be very diplomatical or political in the best case. Again, a few paragraphs after, I will talk to the president about this in a while. We can't let them run loose over there when they don't know our analysis of the situation. So you see that they don't know. If they don't know, they are not responsible of what they do. We want to keep Britain and Turkey out in front of the game. A remark from Kissinger. So you see the remark also from Cisco about the British judgment is that Lygeros has had it. This is a minor point that sort of parallels what we have been talking about, this Turkish opium issue. And you see with humor, let's shut up a week on the poppy issue. We don't need to get that involved now. So there is another small point you see, but we have a line which is not declassified. And again, another one, both from Cisco and one from Colby. So it's rather impossible to have the relation, but we can imagine that there is another problem, maybe two, related to that. And at the end, you can see that there is a relation indeed with opium and the shipment.